Hello, viewers. I'm SB, and welcome back to Hardspace Shipbreaker for what might honestly legitimately be the final episode. I guess we'll find out. We need to take down a ship that has an ion coil, and I don't know. This one seems fine. Yeah, sure, good enough. So it'll either be in a thermal spreader or just floating around somewhere. I have to imagine it's going to be floating around somewhere because I don't think these kinds of ships have thermal spreaders, do they? So we'll make sure to get that first. That is the #1 priority for this shift. And then we'll see what else the... Okay, at this point, I feel like I don't even really need to check. It's always going to be... Yeah, it's always going to be everything's fully pressurized. That's just the world we live in now. Gosh, look at the size of these fuel tanks. We're going to have to be much more careful with how we cut things away from the framework here.
Airlock depressurizing. Airlock pressurizing.
Also, this ship is going to take us to rank 20, which is something. Yeah, that's cool. Guess we may as well do this. It's weird how pulling all the coolant out of the ship's coolant system has no immediate effect at all. It's just... It makes a weird noise and then everything is fine. Okay. Well, it looks like wherever the ion coil might be, it's not floating around here. I guess before I go chopping stuff, did I happen to miss an atmosphere regulator? Indeed I did. And this is all one chamber, so this actually will depressurize the whole back.
Air pressure level decreasing.
That honestly makes things really easy. I really am pretty pleased about that. So if we cut this stuff away. I know I said the ion coil is a very high priority, and I believe that. I mean that, but also it does kind of seem like we're going to be able to just take care of this. And I will feel so much safer if this ship doesn't have an active reactor inside of it. Alright, so I think if we pull the thruster cap now... I mean, I should probably cut out these nacelle ports while we're here. But I think at this point, if we pull off the thruster cap, we should be able to remove the rings down the back of the ship, right? And make this really quite straightforward. I wonder, the Hazard 10 ships either must not exist or they must be totally locked by rank? In case y'all were wondering, 0 performance problems while not recording. It's a lot. It's a lot for the poor computer to handle. Huh. Interesting that won't... Did I pull the... Yeah, I did pull all of them. Alright. Let's step outside here. Because I don't need that anymore. Oh, right. They're the nacelle. They're holding in these ring bits, but also the ring is holding in the ring bits. Is that gonna... Yeah, the processor had it. I'll give it a little push. Okay, so now we should be able to just drag this backwards a bit. It's gonna be a little awkward because the antennas, and I dare not cut them just yet. But yeah, we can just push this toward the back of the... Try to slow that down. Okay. Trying to float that away from the furnace a little bit. As soon as this one's free of the thruster, we can just tether it into the processor. No need to get fancy here.
Tether supplies dropping.
It's gonna get caught on the ring a little bit, but it should roll free. Oh no, it's gonna try to go in the furnace, because of course it is. Alright, that was more harrowing than it needed to be. Oh, actually, this sucks. The ring section that's actually around the reactor is going to be stuck because the ion ring, and we can't remove the ion ring because trying to cut it free will destroy the reactor. So that's... Well, you know what? This is maybe sufficient. Maybe. Honestly, kind of hard to say. Yeah, I don't know. The more I look at it, the more I think this is not going to be a large enough space to pull the reactor out through. Okay. Try to bring this down some. Sorry, this is just not going to want to come free. Yeah. In theory, I could like jostle it, but I don't know. Now, what I could do...
Applying credits to account.
Yeah, I don't think the reactor's going to fit out of that. That's a real shame. What we could do is pull the thruster release and then come over here, cut the coolant pipe. I don't want to do it beforehand because I'm afraid it'll break the thruster release. But cut the thruster release, break the coolant pipe, yank the whole assembly toward the back of the bay. Because it's pretty light, actually, without the other parts. I'm going to do it. Do we have... This is badly set up, though. Let me pull off the plates that are actually on the bottom of this thing. Okay, there we go. Feeling much more confident about the plan now. Hey there, large panel.
Processing valuable deposit. Credits transferred.
Actually, you know what? This panel probably can just... Right, it floated free enough that I don't think there should be a collision, and as such, it shouldn't have to be rescued. We have one tether left. I should probably... Let's just go and refill, just to be sure.
Cutter? Got about 5 minutes left till you're done for the day.
Welcome to Venditron 9000. Thank you for your purchase. Thank you for your
Tethers
purchase.
restored.
Deposit accepted for processing.
Alright, I did really want to get that done in the first shift, but finding the ion coil is also very important. So I guess let's do this first.
Depressurizing. Airlock pressurizing.
I assume we will not be so lucky on this one in terms of being able to fix it real cleanly. Oh, that's a part of the... Okay. Fuse... That's something. Oh, that is in fact the thing. Okay, cool.
Airlock depressurizing.
Well, that went smoothly. Let's go detonate that reactor. I mean, in a very real sense, it doesn't matter if we get it right at this point, right? All right.
Reactor meltdown detected. Urgent action required.
There we go.
Salvage registered. Transferring credits. Salvage
Okay.
goal reached.
If you pull that the way you're supposed to pull that, you really do. You just get for fucking ever to, forever to make your move. What?
Salvage deposited. Applying credit to account.
Alright. Kind of just get everything moving in the right direction, then cut the tethers. This one's probably going to need to be retethered. It's a little on the massive side. And then all of this stuff needs to go in the processor as well. That should go cleanly. I think we're going to remain clear of the furnace. Okay. Pretty productive in my
Salvage
opinion.
secured. Account credit applied. Salvage goal achieved. Rewards allocated.
Ow. Right, I forgot there's still like a bunch of hull and whatnot.
Valuable object accepted for processing. All right. Time to wrap it up, okay? 1 minute left.
Get down there. Redline me. Come on, tilt. Yeah, alright, that's gonna get done. So this bit, which is now loose, just goes in the processor, which I
Salvage
guess is
accepted.
like...
Credit applied.
That's a thing we can automate. Alright, let's see what is left on our escape ship. I guess it's less of an escape ship and more of a consensual leaving ship now. That said, you know, maybe it's worth finishing chopping this last ship because, like, it's like $30 million. And I'll probably hardly die at all.
Hello, Shipbreaker. Please enjoy this inspirational message. The last 10% of a job takes as much energy as the first 90%, which is why it's so important to always give 110%.
Hi, I'm Shippy. Need help with a triple clock bypass? Let me know.
We have found plenty of these.
Congrats! You got this ship off life support. I formally award you with the title of Junior Ship Surgeon.
Thank you very much, Shippy. It's an honor. Ready to terminate. I mean, I do feel like we should finish the ship, though, right? I was gonna buy out my equipment, but at this point, I don't know that licensing the equipment from Lynx is gonna accomplish anything. And yes, still no hazard level 10 ships. I mean, it's possible there just aren't any. They've just like left some room at the top of the system for you to room for like expansions and stuff. Where it's totally escaped my brain for a minute there.
Salvage deposit registered. Account credited.
Okay, so that's all
Valuable object
good.
processed.
At this point, the ring is totally free, right? So we may as well... that didn't actually connect the way I would like. Is this... yeah, this fin bit on the bottom has been pulled free by the rotation. We may as well get that out of the way. And then... yeah, should be easy enough to just drop the whole ring into the processor. I can't imagine it's very massive. Maybe, you know what? This could use another tether, actually.
Object accepted for processing.
Okay,
Credits deposited.
easy.
Salvage deposit secured. Credits awarded.
One of these classic feedy ECUs. With the butt flap and everything.
Salvage deposit confirmed. Applying credit.
Okay, and then at this point,
Processor deposit accepted.
the rest of this whole thing goes in the... yeah, let's disconnect this, and the whole remaining back of the ship just goes in the processor as one piece. Don't think that should be a problem. I did depressurize these, right? Yes, okay, cool. No, please let me just cut the thing I want and nothing else. Okay. There we go. I always get a little nervous when it does that hitch while I'm running the stinger on something that is going to get cut through that is also attached to something that could get cut through. Because who knows, right? and then we use the separator tool. Some very technical work right there.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
I guess this back panel is a furnace thing. How easy would that even be to disconnect, though? Actually, it shouldn't be that hard. Hold on. We can do this the right way, because that is a big piece of metal. It might actually be worth something. Just making sure the walkway is disconnected. And yeah, good, right? That was a lot more force than I thought I was gonna. Come here, you. Alright, it's coming. It's coming back. Alright, this whole damn thing needs to go approximately over there. That is definitely going to be a multi-tether job. That's a big piece of metal. Okay, it is moving though. Okay, it's gonna scrape the fuel tanks. That's not a big deal. Is the airlock console? Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. Whew. This is all furnace stuff. We'll worry about this later. Let's carefully disconnect these fuel tanks first.
Material deposited.
These are some really fucking big tanks. So wait. These tanks on the... Oh, I think the mounting brackets for the tanks on the top and bottom are just further forward. I think we're okay.
Valuable object processed. Credit awarded.
Huh. Apparently I destroyed a light that's worth 10,000 credits. Which is interesting, because I don't think there are lights that are worth 10,000 credits. Ooh. So we have been having... I can't remember what wording was used exactly by the Weather Service. Effectively, you know, extreme heat warnings here pretty much since the beginning of the week and on for a few more days now. And can I tell you, I'm really feeling it. Making it really hard to carefully remove the brackets holding these tanks in place. Did I get... Yes, okay, I did get that one. I think we're just about done. Because obviously I want to cut the framework over here and everything, but we definitely need to disconnect all of the fuel from the ship first. Okay, it is not a problem of them not being disconnected. It is a problem of them being too massive. I thought they would just slide off of here the way the coolant tanks do, but we probably need to apply this, this pressure a little bit more sideways. All right, that one's going pretty fast. Get down. Making me really nervous. All right, stuff's starting to roll off.
Salvage deposit registered. Account credited.
Okay,
Salvage goal met. Rewards will be paid.
400,000 each, huh? There we go. That helps. Just give them a little push.
Salvage secured. Applying credit.
And then apply a couple of tethers real fast so they don't float into the processor.
Salvage deposit.
Oh, well here's
Applying credit to account.
here's one problem. Did not miss the same one on the other side.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Okay, let's go give some of these a little push.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited. Left in the shift, Cutter, okay? Okay.
Just getting a little worried there that top one, I should not have pushed the top one out first, obviously.
Salvage deposit accepted.
Just getting a little worried that it was going to go into the processor before I could get the bottom one clear so that it could be pulled down.
Salvage goal cleared. Rewards allocated. Salvage deposited. Applying credit to account.
Alright, just the awkward ones left. But we definitely will get all these clear this shift.
Salvage
there we
registered.
go.
Transferring credits.
This is gonna go down a little weird. Hopefully the yeah, we've not seen one explode due to collision force yet, and they mostly seem to be steering around the big middle frame anyway. It's probably it's probably
Salvage
fine.
accepted. Credit applied.
Just trying to be patient while that goes past. Oh, are these? Sorry, let me make sure. Is that flushed? Yes, okay. Didn't necessarily want to blow out the
Account credited.
the front side of the ship. Not accidentally.
Salvage deposit secured. Credits awarded.
I have to say though, as far as cash goes, this is not horrible for a final ship.
Salvage secured. Applying credit.
So did you notice when the ingredient in the ship doctor, when the last bit was bunny character D, it said we only had one in the display at the bottom. We've definitely picked up like half a dozen of those at least. I want to know who's been coming into my hab. I'm stealing my bunny characters.
Salvage deposit confirmed. Applying credit.
Okay.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Because this whole middle framework, we could basically just throw in the processor as one piece. We'll lose the value of the interior stuff, but like,
Applying credits to account.
especially at this point, who could possibly
It's almost
care?
done, Cutter. 1 minute left. Deposit accepted.
Tether levels are low.
Okay. Do they cut apart in the middle cleanly? Because like we probably ought to cut them apart in the middle. Yeah, this looks like an okay way to do this.
Salvage goal reached. Rewards assigned.
That was weird. A big piece of nanocarbon got destroyed. Was there still... there must have been something still attached to that panel as we put it in. Well, whatever. It seemed like a big number, but, you know, as a percentage of the total value of the ship, unimpressive. Yeah, who cares? And we're basically done with that. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss chopping these. I'm gonna miss chopping them enough that I'm definitely. I know you can just play like
Inspirational message.
loose
Success is
ships
not the
disconnected
key to
from the
happiness.
campaign structure,
Happiness
and I'm
is the key to
definitely
success.
gonna do some of that
If you
because
love what
it
you
is
do,
fun.
you will be successful.
All right, can we finish it today? Can we do 3 entire salvage goals worth of stuff today? Honestly, I don't see why not. Oh shoot! Right. So forgetful. Figure we can just sort of get this as we're flying past. Alright. Yeah, that'll just roll off of there. Alright, let's grab new tethers, and then we can get back to it.
Welcome to Venditron 9000. Thank you for your
Tethers restored.
Salvage registered. Transferring credits. Valuable object accepted for processing.
Okay, that's going in, that's going in. Probably doesn't need the extra tether, but... Alright, I'm just gonna blow this door. I was gonna say, isn't that supposed to cause a situation?
Air pressure level increasing.
Salvage deposited.
What on earth?
Applying credit to account.
I guess at some point it decided that it needed to fly backwards as the pressurized air was getting released from the back of it. This cockpit remains pressurized somehow.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Airlock depressurizing.
Sure hope the regulator in here works.
Airlock pressurizing.
Oh, hey. A rare treat.
Air pressure level decreasing.
Boy, that soft crate is right up on top of me. Got it.
Processing valuable object.
As soon as I tethered that thing, I remembered that there was going to be a terminal.
Salvage deposit registered. Account credited.
Boy, how many times have we done this exact same cockpit disposal?
Salvage deposit secured. Credits awarded. Salvage secured. Account credit
We're
applied.
getting a weird amount of like radio interference all of a sudden.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Huh, they're really just not going to tell me what that was worth? I guess we don't need to do that. Right, because if we do this, yeah, the whole thing comes apart as one piece.
Processing valuable deposit. Credits transferred. Raw material deposited. Transferring credits.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was making all that weird noise. Ow.
Salvage accepted. Credit applied.
So I think we do have... Yeah, I was going to say, I think we do still have a generator left to pull on this. Okay, so my plan here is to cut this into a couple of larger pieces. First, my plan is to not get electrocuted, and then after that, we're going to do the laziest cuts we can afford to do. Although, of course, we always got to do this. Very important. Oh, that airlock was still pressurized. Well, I mean, that's honestly fine. generally, you don't damage anything when you do that.
Salvage secured. Applying credit.
And if it gets this stuff to disconnect itself from the ship a little bit quicker,
Processing valuables
again,
deposit.
so that I can be lazy.
Transferred.
Hardly seems like a bad thing. It is entirely possible that this one is also pressurized. I did not check, and I'm not going to. All right. I have no idea what I was bumping up against over here. Get ourselves out of the way before the physics really take over there.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
Okay. So mostly what we need to do is make sure that the front is disconnected from the back and that all of it is disconnected from this center panel room. And then I'm hoping we could just pull the nanocarbon off in 2 big chunks.
Salvage secured. Applying credit.
Electrical
Ow.
damage detected.
That's embarrassing. Pretty rare that I screw that up, honestly. Is the nose not disconnected? No, it should be. Alright. Let me try using a couple of tethers on it. Okay, yeah, it is totally disconnected. Everything's fine. Alright, get up there.
5 minutes left, Cutter, okay?
And then the hope is that we can just pull the middle out of this.
Salvage deposited. Applying credit to account.
Got both of those bits. It's not connected there. Oh, right, it's still connected to the back wall. And the back wall is a furnace piece, so actually we need to make sure we disconnect that fully from the nanocarbon, from the nanocarbon shell.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
I think this furnace bit should actually be able to just pull free. Yeah, it's definitely loose in there. Let's start pulling the nanocarbon away. This actually came apart a little bit more than I was expecting.
Salvage registered. Transferring credits. Processor deposit accepted. Credits awarded.
Come on, tilt. There we go. Alright, one last ladder for old time's sake.
Salvage accepted. Credit applied.
Now we still have, I think,
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
a fair amount of computer equipment in this last room. Maybe fair amount is strong.
All salvage goals complete.
Oh.
All rewards allocated.
Never mind, we're good. Why? And fuck it, throw the whole thing in the furnace. There's some storage bins in there. And you know what? I'm comfortable telling those storage bins that they can burn in hell. May the furnace god redeem you, because I sure as hell won't. And we're gonna watch them fry. This thing is
Not much time left, Cutter.
floating in kind of a
1
funny
minute to go.
angle. Here, let me make sure this actually happens.
Material deposited.
There we go. Was any incineration ever so well deserved? Boy, that went down in a very strange way. All right. Oh. Ha. That bit of ion ring never actually made it into the barge. I was wondering why there was such a large bit left on the thing. Well, I would really love it if this happened before the timer ran out. Any chance you could get the hell down here? It's totally not going to. Oh. All right, fine. The rest of that is my gift to the Lynx Corporation. Okay, let's get the hell out of here. Love an innovative thing that was pioneered centuries ago.
Cutter 9346-52. Your designated sleep period is now over. Have a great day.
All right, cut myself 3 with just 87 million in operating capital. Seems acceptable.
Be advised, upon confirmation, employment termination is effective immediately.
The word termination is still making me pretty nervous. Confirming your employment with Lynx is terminated. Agreement shall not be in any way construed as an admission on the part of Lynx that it wrongfully or in any manner or fashion whatsoever violated any law. Lynx specifically denies that it has violated any law or obligation relating to its employment of the employee and to the employee's separation from such employment. It's wild that you could just be like, I know that I will not have broken the law by the end of this process. Employee may submit a written request to be paid the remaining account balance owing to you, less required deductions up to and including the termination date. Well, hopefully I have done that. Upon termination of your employment, your status will also, within EverWork, will also be terminated. This all seems very straightforward. Employee will return all Lynx property without limitation, shall retain no copies of any such property or information. The employee waives and acknowledges full satisfaction of all claims against Lynx, including, without limitation, all of them. Okay, this all looks like pretty standard legal boilerplate.
Termination acknowledged. To finalize, insert your employee card into the card reader.
Okay, I was going to say, is there a card reader?
has been terminated. All systems access and communication privileges are revoked. Please remove all personal belongings from the habitation module.
Okay. Well, keys over here on the workstation. Probably gonna need this. I really want to take one of my posters. They're not gonna know the difference, right? And obviously, gonna need our bunny. And do I just use the normal? Okay. I guess this is where the airlock is.
Cutter, if you're hearing this, it means you and Beulah are well on your way. Away from Morgan Station, away from Lynx. Hopefully, I'm sipping pina coladas surface side right now, watching the nephews splash in the waves. You know, when I first took up the foreman gig, I figured it was for the money. Then, it got so the money didn't matter. What mattered most was doing right by all you kids coming up. I was already starting to understand that the game's rigged. You know, Lou was right all along. If I could go back and do right by her, I surely would. Folks like her, who fight tooth and nail for the good of others, they keep the rest of this world honest. Without them, well, let's just say that honesty doesn't exactly occur in abundance naturally. What you're embarking on right now is the dream. And you earned it with your own sweat and blood. You're heading into the great wide open. And from here on out, you got no master but yourself. Now, that doesn't mean it's gonna be all sunshine and rainbows. There's as much bad as good out there. As much failure as opportunity. As many enemies as friends. But I know if anyone can make it out there, it's you. I wish I could see what you do. What you make of yourself. Just promise me one thing. When you get to wherever it is you're going, you send me a postcard. Weaver out.
You know, it's sort of like a Union fairy tale almost, in the sort of like the way that nothing is really lost. There's no costs, right? Nobody died. A couple of people had a couple of bad minutes when Hal and Weaver were fighting over the thing, and we had temporary anguish when we thought Kaito had been killed. But I don't know. Obviously, I'm very much in favor of the general political thrust of the game, but naively hopeful? I don't know. Maybe that ain't such a bad thing. I will say, I do think it's a little bit of a bummer that, like, how am I going to put this so it's not going to sound really, really harsh? I think that we have a real problem in the real world where people just don't want to acknowledge problems. They just want to pretend everything's all right. And you saw a lot of that behavior in this game, right? Weaver and Dee Dee and Kaito all resisting Lou's obviously correct pull for the Union and everything. And in the real world, that kind of shit has very serious consequences. Consequences that are measured in actual human lives. So it is a little bit of a bummer to not see, like, Weaver brought it up. He was like, yeah, I guess I should have done right by Lou. But, like, in the end, he can just kind of idly wish there was no cost paid for refusing to do the right thing as soon as it became clear that it was the right thing. And I feel like that is maybe reinforcing harmful real-world attitudes, I guess. I don't know. Overall, I liked it. I mean, I had a lot of fun. The actual gameplay is great. And God bless them, they're trying. Unnamed rat. Who would not name their rat? What? Oh my god. 2 horses, like 50 cats and dogs, one rat, and not even a name for it. Absolutely terrible stuff. Plus, rats in space they go together so naturally, you know? You know, I have played a lot of video games, I've watched a lot of credit sequences, and I have seen an awful lot of concept art shown alongside credits, but I have never before seen a game that actually credits the artist on each individual piece of concept art. That's really nice. I really appreciate that. We might just roll these forward a little bit now. I hate to not let the people who made the game get their due, but also, y'all, video game credits are getting so long. I definitely have, on more than one occasion, just completely cut the credit sequence from the end video of a series because the credits were in excess of half an hour in length. All right, we're getting to the actual end here. I appreciate them running a little like advertisement there at the end of the credits for a documentary about the real life shipbreakers and stuff, but you can't just put a YouTube little URL in there. Like, how would we? Okay. Replace memory record. Well, I mean, I literally am not allowed to press any other buttons. This is going to give me like a. What is this going to do? Because the idea of a fresh start is certainly a loaded concept here. Okay, so basically we could restart the career probably at the rank we were at. Okay, well, that's Hardspace Shipbreaker. I had a good time. I'm trying not to be too harsh on it for being like sort of a punches pulled hopeful version of the story, because like, gosh, we sure could use a little bit of hope right here. around here right now. I don't know. I figure I've said enough. You've heard all the thoughts I have to think about this game. Thank you all so much for watching and making it to the end of this journey here with me. When you come back next time, tomorrow, you know, there's other series running still and stuff, and next week we're gonna start some cool new things. Check out the videos. I'm doing videos from the Steam Next Fest right now, demos for upcoming games, sort of a nice broad sampler of cool stuff that is coming up. Those are worth looking at, and we'll see you next time.